team took the ultra scaling comp against DCG's much more heavy 1-2 item power spike composition, and now we've pretty much full shifted our power spikes.
Well, Deep Cross are going to be looking for the late game. Will J-Team be able to disrupt them with this mix and match of a composition? In Game 3 here, no one's getting knocked out just yet. We will be going to match point after this one way or the other. We'll see as we load up onto the Rift for the third time tonight. It does seem like the League of 3 Zeros has run its course, Nightstar. I may yet regret saying that, but we'll see.
Well, when we only have 2 series left, it is looking
Never underestimate the power of the caster curse, though. Come on.
That is true. But, I mean, like, right now, DCG are in such a fantastic position with this draft. Hey, I love the respect coming out from Leaky and Driver. If I'm Driver, I 100% just go ahead, auto him, because you need to get ahead on this Renekton. I don't care. I'm getting my lead now.
Yeah, you got to have that drive, that killer instinct to make those plays early.
No respect.
But DCG are not going to give them an easy in anywhere. In fact, they might even be going for a late invade. This is spotted on a ward, though. Just a hopeful sniff for the play. It's not going to result in anything, and it's actually going to mean that J-Team's bot lane are going to get to cut off Woody and Kriskata. This is an interesting start. Woody forced down to half HP at level 1. Oh boy.
It does get evened out just a little bit, but remember, Lil V, of course, has Severum. And Kriskata on this Jinx pick, the Jinx has been hit enough that, yes, she can still get the push level 1, but the mana sacrifice for that is going to be something that you have to consider. A lot more mana hungry now, as we will just have a fight for level 2, but at the same time, these junglers starting top side for the both of them. We're going to end down in this bottom lane against, of course, a very volatile matchup because it's double range.
Yeah, keep in mind, though, that Konge is going to be the one that ends up being spotted when he does go down to try and get his clear off on the Raptor camp. Because of that late invade, they did manage to get a ward down early on. So information advantage to Deep Cross in this one. You don't really expect a Viego to gank level 3, level 4 as often, but you might expect it from Konge. Ooh, great handshake. Woody chunked again.
Nice little chunk onto Woody, but unless a Viego comes down here to actually put pressure onto this Karma pick, you're pretty comfortable. And now you also have Hana in that area, so he will be around, support this dual lane if push comes to shove.
Both junglers nearby, but Konge not as much in a position to make it happen. Actually just goes ahead and clears out the Krug camp. Heads right back up towards the top side. Yeah, I think we might be in for it. I mean, Driver does get the push on, and here's the rotation from Uniboy. He's going to be spotted, though, as he walks right into the ward. Leaky has full information. I think they can.
They really want it.
The teleport. There's the stun, the slice, the dice, the knockup, and oh no! Denied into the baby cage, and Driver is first blooded.
Well, I asked the question, can they dive the orb? They tried to, but the answer is definitely no. The teleport comes through just in time. There's just not enough damage. Again, Renekton has been nerfed so many times. He just doesn't have that early game damage that he used to. And you also pull in Orianna, who has to auto attack for the majority of her damage, but because she's tethering the turret aggro, she has to sit outside of damage range. So Leaky hugging all the way up to the top side of that wall means that there's just not enough damage coming out from J-Team to finish off that kill.
Yeah, that's a bit of a heartbreaker when you're trying to snowball on the lane. I mean, they went for the dive play, but they went for it in a manner that is so easily sniffed out. The teleport play from Nesty, getting him first blood off to a great start for him. Enzo does tank the long-range zap there. As Kriskata and Woody, even a level down. There we go. Now they equalize. Are able to keep this lane pretty even. They've got the biscuits as well, not matched by Lil V and Enzo.
They might have
Apparently,
chugged through all of them.
Sustain's a bit better. Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's very possible that
We could be 2v2.
Yeah, and now
Driver.
back to top side. But Hana is there this time around with that first dive going poorly. Now this Ornn has double armor built up. It's so hard to dive this champion now because the passive as well, giving him additional armor or percentage resistances. It just means that like double cloth armor is pretty much a death sentence up in that top side, especially with the double AD top jungle combination.
I feel like you really have to shift your strategy here. If you don't just straight up die, Driver's going to get knocked up by the Ornn. The flash forward. Leaky getting very aggressive. Perhaps a bit too much there on the Bellows Breath, but he is going to zone Driver out of lane, and the Renekton getting bullied by the Ornn is not a great start to your top side. I feel like Driver's going to have to do something a little bit different this game.
Yeah, I'd love to see strong side Ornn here, but without a flash, he is, a bit of ways. It's got a bit of a distance to walk, but does have Hana there backing, so he is able to make that aggressive play. And look, if this was Unsealed Spellbook, he'd have the Ignite, that definitely would have been a 1v1 kill. That's all I'm saying, but takes the grasp, and it's still fine, but he definitely should have flashed.
Yeah, Leaky got a little bit too aggressive himself. I think he was trying to style on Driver, very optimistic. All the same, he does go back and, manages to pick himself up another component. So, he's not in bad shape right now,
yes,
but...
absolutely.
If you make a mistake and it doesn't get punished, it's not really a mistake. We have a little bit of time to see if that's the case.
Yes.
Meanwhile, in the mid lane, decent CS advantage for Uniboy, but the kill's more than making up for that on Nesty right now. He should be pretty happy. He's on a Vigar. He just wants to scale up.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw when he made that teleport play up on the top side, he actually sacrificed quite a bit in the mid lane. So now he's able to recoup a little bit of that. Now Hana hovering towards that bottom half of the map. There's plenty of vision, though, if he does want to play aggressively, but it will be spotted that Dragon is being taken. So DCG maintain their really oppressive early Dragon control, and part of that just comes from the fact that, I mean, you pick this Aphelios Renata combination, and you're getting bullied out. Like, this early pick Aphelios not paying off so far in the last 2 games, I would say.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that you were mentioning there is that Dragon control that Deep Cross have had, which is a surprise because in the regular season, they didn't have nearly as good a control as Hana does get caught out trying to snipe away the red. This could be an opportunity for Konge. No, he doesn't actually close that gap. Hana will be able to walk away. That was a bit wonky, but yeah, Deep Cross, they haven't had this good a Drake control in the regular season. This is definitely something new. In fact, J-Team were a much better Dragon control team with like 71.5%. It's just kind of flipped here. Driver is going to try for this Herald, and he's going to have Konge there, so they will be able to get that as well. At the very least, they're now trading across the map, whereas before it was kind of all Deep Cross early game.
Yeah, and I mean, they will be able to secure this first Herald because of the power spike of having level 6 Renekton, having the ultimate available onto Konryo.
Whoa! Uniboy! He's burning!
Out. Okay, ticking. Ooh,
wow.
Okay, enough.
Oh! 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 Uniboy, you're playing with our hearts, man. Last second flash.
Not even close. Not even close.
Oh, boy. Oh, man. Okay. So Deep Cross, we're really hoping for that other one. I mean, whenever there's a Jinx on the map, you got to expect that's going to be tried at least once or twice. Criscata, one of the flashy players. He will be able to get a turret plate here, though. This is nice on the advantage of the back timing, and I think Lil V is in danger of being dove. Nesty on the signature roam play. He waits, and he's not going to get it.
Yeah, but they do get 2 turret plates, so that itself is a bit of a win there. And now might be looking to try and pick off Konrad. Do we see Nesty flash over the wall here?
sneaky, sneaky. Maybe cage down. Oh, and he can't quite
kill.
clear it in time. Oh. That is going to... Oh, Heartbreaker denial.
Burns a lot of resources.
Still pretty heavy investment, as you mentioned. That's going to be the pull-in for Nesty on the handshake. He's forced to flash away. All right, Deep Cross feeling themselves, but it's not that easy to get the gank onto Kongye.
Yeah, of course, extremely slippery on that Viego, and there's just not enough burst damage quite yet on the side of DCG to make the CC chain enough to be able to finish off the Viego, but it is good signs to come, and it still burns a lot of resources coming in from Kongye, and that means his playmaking potential greatly neutered for this next objective fight.
Ooh, Woody's forced to flash as well. Now Enzo's Renata is starting to get online. The handshakes last couple of minutes have definitely been a lot more on point.
Yeah, absolutely. Still pretty good champion, but unfortunately, again, like range escalation coming in from DCG, they outranged this champion, and the poke when it comes to the actual lane phase, as long as you're playing within vision of the Renata, it's so hard to land these handshakes. It's really all about the out of vision plays with this champion if you're trying to find value at this moment. And now Hana making his way over again. Still very hard to dive this duo because it is Aphelios with Chakrams, and it also is the hostile takeover that you have to deal with. But 90 seconds until Dragon, that's the real focus. That's why Hana is hovering this bottom lane.
And Kongye has been the one less active than his opposite number in this game so far. Does have the level advantage. The power farm has been on, but he's trying to make that change. Runs straight up into the control ward, but he's going to drop the Herald. Now they're going to try to make the play here. And they're even bringing Uniboy as well. Meanwhile, 1v1, yeah, I think Leaky is going to get the outplay on this one. Bella's Breath, the flash followed through. Driver. Meanwhile, that attempt dive bottom just kind of gets met with an equal and opposite reaction. 4v4 versus the 1v1.
Yeah, but so far, like, the trade is pretty worthwhile up in the top side. When you trade ultimates, they're Leaky coming out much better in that exchange. Look, he's level 10.
So
he has a level advantage against the Renekton, and he's full health. Like, this Renekton is just not that good. When we saw it in the CFO series, yes, the pick itself wasn't good, but what did it provide? It provided point-and-click CC on highly mobile targets. Yes, you still have point-and-click CC, but it's so hard to get access to those targets because you have to navigate through the Ornn ultimate and also the Event Horizon coming in from the Vega.
Yeah, it just seems like when the Renekton doesn't get to do things early, it doesn't, he's not going to like pop off and carry the game, but he just falls so far behind, and we're seeing that time and time again. Sure, Leaky burned that flash to try and style on it, but he didn't end up getting punished for it. It didn't matter. The tone for this game in the top kind of got set from that Uniboy roam trying to do his best Nesty impression, and it was so telegraphed. They just answered it easily.
Yeah, and now, Pyro, look at the farm differential top side. This is a tank versus a quote-unquote carry. It looks like the tank is this Renekton and the carry is this Ornn right now because it's a 20 CS lead.
Ornn is a deceptive tank, right? Because he's got enough damaging tools to just clap you. And look at that, we're watching it right now. Another dash in,
just half health
away. Yeah. What is a Crocodile to a Forge God? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
This is going to open up J-Team to at least get the Dragon. So they do cut the Drake stack of Deep Cross. That's important.
Yes, that is helpful there, and the extra move speed is going to help a little bit here as well. And just trying to maintain range, and now we're going to get Hex attack. So I suppose now you get a little bit more value coming in from your Renekton because the Hex Cakes could give you an angle to actually flank from. That'll be important to keep track of when we go to our next couple of objective fights. But as it stands, DCG sitting very, very comfortable. Slight gold advantage. I mean, it doesn't really count for a gold advantage, but remember, they heavily outscale range-wise with this composition. So, even is ahead.
Yep, it's fuzzy math, but it checks out for sure. We're approaching that 15-minute mark. It has been another one of those relatively slow games. A few more plays being made. Here we go. Spectral Maw. Kongye does not find Hana. Slight level advantage for him on that one. Doesn't really matter. But meanwhile, we got to check back in up top. Driver, it does seem like this game, this series, has been a matter of which top laner gets to have fun playing League of Legends and which gets clowned on.
Yeah, and Driver, back-to-back games, has absolutely been made fun of here. And now he's just stuck on wave clear duty. Has the Gore Drinker completed, but remember, Gore Drinker also nerfed. So everything going for Renekton has been nerfed. And honestly, I would have probably looked for the Stride Breaker here, to be fair, to just have a little bit more sticking potential if he's able to get onto the back line. But as it stands, really, really hard to get back onto those carries because you have to deal with the move speed in addition to the zone control, because the move speed coming in from Karma, really, really annoying to deal with as well.
It does seem like the role Driver's going to play is to just be a big stat stick right now, right? He's just going to try and outlast, sustain in these fights. J-Team are going to be the ones starting off on this Rift Herald, but here's the counter collapse from Deep Cross Gaming. Call of the Forge God going to go through. Shockwave does land on 3, so they actually slow the turn, but Hana finds Uniboy into the rocket. They don't have enough damage to actually go here, as Hana actually gets stuck, rooted, pulled back on the handshake, and Kongye is going to open up with the first casualty right now. Leaky going to be caught out again. This is the turn. They managed to get 2. Driver getting some revenge now, as the baby cage is denied. Kongye turns around and gets the Ornn himself, but no, he feeds it right back, and that's going to be the turnabout for Deep Cross.
Yeah, should have practiced some Ornn up in that top side. That was definitely a jungler playing Ornn in that instance. Just tries to go for a double dash, but unfortunately...
The same Mario Kart, man.
Yeah. It absolutely is not Mario Karts. But we get to see, these two compositions really interact upon their strong points. Here, for the side of J-Team, you control these choke points really well with that Orianna, but on the flip side, DCG coming in with this Ornn, it's just so immovable right now. Yes, he gets taken down at the end, but he is just so strong. He lasts for such a long time and allows for them to get that first exchange kill, and that's a jungler playing Ornn.
Yeah, I feel like when you lose your AD carry and the enemy team doesn't, that's probably a good indicator that you should not fight again. But like I said, Kongye has no chill, so he gets killed, but he does trade it right back. We do see the Herald eventually going down there in the extended play. So Deep Cross still have a little bit of an edge, but this Herald could still be worth something. Plates are long gone, but if you can get a tower down with it, if you can make the big push happen, that can turn in your favor. It's going to probably be a late game by all accounts. The Drake stack is even at 1-1 right now. It's been a little slow. We've got the Hextech Rift. I think we could be in for some real crazy objective fights when those Hex Gates allow the flanks.
Yeah, once those flanking will start coming in, that'll be something to keep track of. Because it's also pretty beneficial for Hana, right? He is the one big flanking champion on that Volibear. Although, even though he doesn't have the stopwatch available to him, still holds a decent amount of backline threat just to be able to create space. So we'll see how things turn out, but DCG 1,000 gold lead, already bringing the teleport. We'll see where they go with it, trying to collapse on the driver.
He's out. Yeah. That's it was a bit of a chase. It was a bit hopeful. I thought maybe they were trying to rush the dragon, but they get a little pulled around the map. So the Herald does charge down mid, gets a solid charge off, but nothing more. Does seem like both these teams really trying to posture for that dragon position. Uniboy keeping Leaky zone. Ooh, here's the call of the Forge God. That is an aggressive play. Do they have the damage? Deleting Uniboy is not quite possible yet. Nesty needs a few more stacks on that Q. That rocket doesn't go anywhere, and the cage does land onto Enso, but there's no follow-through. Deep Cross burn a lot and don't get the kill.
Right, they burn a lot, but at the same time, it's just going to be an exchange of objectives. DCG, they're running straight mid. With J-Team a little bit on the back foot, they turn their attention towards this dragon, but now Look at the terrain control. They just can't navigate around these. Okay, CC tools. Stroll
yeah, I mean, it's not enough to stop them, right? Because they can just peel back.
Oh,
although that might be big Moonlight Vigil, but they're not in position. The control of the choke is massive there. You have to respect the Nesty cage.
There's just too much terrain control coming in from DCG, and yes, they lose that dragon, but it's an inconsequential dragon at the moment because of the fact that it is only the second J-Team dragon into their hand. So I love the trade coming in from DCG. Get yourself more gold. Remember, you have the better scaling composition. You have the higher ranged composition as well. So the more gold you can get, it doesn't even matter if J-Team get the third dragon. Maybe even the fourth dragon. If they get Dragon Soul, yes, it's a big power spike to them, but this Dragon Soul only works if you're actually able to auto attack or actually get in range of your abilities, which DCG have already shown like they can just stiff arm J-Team away from them.
Yeah, Nesty is going to be a big problem. Void Staff completed for him right now, so damage starting to come in, and the Jinx on the Kraken Slayer plus the Rapid Fire. Another thing to point out, too, like, we talked about scaling, and with itemization, it's going to be even better, right? Because you do have an Ornn on this team. You can get those Masterworks items. And look, lo and behold, Leaky's already got his Rhymeforged Grasp here, as he is just going to continue bullying Driver.
Bam!
Big boom, slam down on the hammer. The Croc's going to try to be
Nesty's
big, and
coming,
Kongye's coming, but so is Nesty. And I don't care how big that Renekton thinks he is. He is going down, but they're bringing a lot more friends to the party. I spoke too soon, Nightstar. They have more friends. They've got the entire team on the back half, and they are going to get shutdowns. But Deep Cross going to try to run for the mid lane, at least make something of it.
Yeah, and I mean, the play looked good. It's just he didn't quite have enough burst damage to finish off the kill fast enough, and then the turn comes in. This is also a big benefit from having the Hex Gates, right? Because if you're playing defensively, you have the ability to respond a lot faster with the additional Hex Gate gap closing ability. So J-Team, they come out ahead of that trade. A much needed pick off there as well, because now the gold is getting a lot tighter here, pretty much dead even, and they do need to find a little bit more though. They really need that Baron or the Dragon Soul really to shift the calculus in their favor. As we get to see the replay, we'll see that the response, the Renata and the Orianna, look, as the fight starts, they take Hex Gates right here. So all of a sudden, like 3-4 screens of distance instantly responded by the side of J-Team and DCG. Like, Nesty, yes, you infinitely scale, but still
not if you're dead.
Yeah, you're still a little bit behind. As we can see, like, he's still 50 CS down, so the damage he should have, not quite there yet. At 180 stacks of his additional AP, so that feels good, and is also a gold value that's not being kept track of, right, in the actual gold value here. But at this point in the game, you should be looking at 230, 250 stacks, so definitely a little bit behind the curve.
Yeah, Nesty kind of sets himself back a little bit. I think maybe a little greed there. They thought they'd be able to bully Driver, but he's got some more sustain. I think he had the Randuin's. I think he actually might have bought it after that engage, but the Hex Gates really shift things a bit. It's not as easy to get the collapse on, and he was able to sustain long enough, buy some time. You have to think Leaky will be thinking twice about going as all in as he was. Yeah, respecting the distance a little bit more. Still a level advantage, but now Driver has a much-needed lifeline, and they did manage to at least take down the tower. And gold advantage for J-Team, I think, for the first time this game.
Yeah, ever so slight. But we have the second Masterwork item coming in. So that's about 2,000 gold value, right? 1,000 gold per item. So even though the gold lead is technically for the side of J-Team, stats-wise, DCG hold a much larger gold advantage as we are setting up for this next dragon. It would be J-Team's third but DCG have early access into the Dragon Pit.
Yeah, but the Hex Gate, they've got the back of the pit, and that's going to be smited down. Can Deep Cross get away from it? The hostile takeover
we flip sides.
is going to be dodged. Yeah, Hex Gates make things a little weird, for sure.
They're stuck in the choke.
And now they're going to try and get the counter collapse. Here comes the call. The Forge God getting a massive knock up here. Kongye looking for an angle. Once again, the turn driver on the Dominus front lining it up as they try to stiff arm J-Team. Deep Cross just want to walk away. They don't want to take this one outside at all.
And now it will be J-Team looking to just run down mid. Minion wave not quite there, so that's going to give DCG the ability to round back over and at least protect their tier 2. I don't know if they'll be able to defend this tier 1, but nice cage buys time. Possibly, Leaky's too far.
Okay, he's going to go down. That's going to be the kill. Starting off, Enzo ends up getting the credit for it on the Ignite. Or are they gonna turn for the Baron? I think they might, Nightstar.
At this point in the game, you have to take a couple more chances. J-Team might have considered it, but it turns out they just want to try and maybe pull DCG in a poor rotation pattern. However, DCG, they are able to just walk it off. So all in all, it's Dragon for mid-tier 1 and 1 kill for the side of J-Team. Leaky just overextends himself just a little bit, but as things stand, again, like, this 2,000 gold is not 2,000 gold for the side of J-Team. It's dead even.
Yeah, they're still making a couple of mistakes, but not ones that are getting massively punished. I think that's the key thing, right, is that they're just little things that J-Team are getting, and as you mentioned, the gold is very deceptive. Not only do we have the first Ornn item completed on himself, the Rhymeforge Grasp, we have the upgraded Kraken Slayer, the Wormfallen Sacrifice. Such a metal bunch of names for these mythic upgrades.
He's going to be the next member of Pentakill.
Yeah. Honestly, Pentakill Jinx would be a dope skin. She has a lot of really cool ones, but I don't know if we're going to be getting that.
Yeah, not quite.
Maybe. I don't know. Rito, please.
Who knows?
Jinx from Arcane? Anybody?
But yeah, absolutely. Bat chest.
Yeah, no. I mean, honestly, I feel like she might get the skin.
Perhaps.
Who knows? Maybe one day. Anyways,
but
this is going to be Deep Cross looking
Jinx.
for mid control. Yeah. The Jinx is going to become a big problem for sure. Only 2 items now. Looking for that third.
Ooh,
teleport flames.
Teleport.
Hold on. Yeah, driver.
Narnia.
Oh boy, they are going to get the collapse on here. In comes the big interior crocodile alligator. But can they get the turnaround? No, driver goes down at the start of this one, and Deep Cross have managed to get the stiff arm. How the heck did they get out of that?
Oh, how did Cascato live? Oh my lord.
Flash and cleanse and a lot of luck.
Yeah. Also has now the recall coming back onto the map. Can DCP get to this objective fast enough? That's the real question. They are sprinting towards it. Nessie is the only one close though.
They might have to see this. It's going to go a little bit slower. They need to peel them off. They need time for the bear to come in, but he's not going for it. No, Hana did not have the flash, did not have the ultimate. There was no chance he could pull the steal. So J-Team, they lose the fight, but they get the Baron.
And that's actually a huge objective for them because, again, the range escalation here, DCG outranged the side of J-Team. So this Baron buff is very much necessary for them to get that extra range to take towers with those cannon minions from each of these waves. As we get to see the replay, the long con with the teleport from Narnia coming in from the wardrobe, unfortunately unable to punish Cascada, as Cascada took so much damage at the start, and you'd figure, wow, that it's so easy for Renekton just finish this fight off. You just need a couple of autos. But Renekton's nerfed, guys.
It's those darn nerfs. Gotta give him the edge on those blades, man. It was looking a little blunt there. I mean, Cascada had to burn everything to get away, and the fact that he wasn't zoned off after that is incredible. He just kept autoing.
And you'd think, well, okay, then it should be easy for us to finish off the kill next time. But at the same time, how many times are you going to get that ward that far deep? how often will you get that good of a flank ward? That's also a question that has to be asked, because yeah, so while DCG, you know, that positioning from Cascada a little bit too far up, and you lose.
Okay. There we go.
It's not Soul.
It's harder to do. That's also been nerfed a little bit on the AoE of that. But you know what? You're right. Like, J-Team are getting these little advantages. They pick up another Hextech Drake, so now they are at 30 minutes on Soul Point because these have gone so back and forth. J-Team keep buying themselves some time getting back into this game. The question is, can they outlast the scaling game? Another Ornn item completed. Eternal Winter now onto Nesty.
Yes.
And he has the Death Cap too, so he's going to sting. I want to see what his Q stacks are at when they rotate back over to him. Yeah. Because at a certain point, that Primordial Burst is going to be the delete button.
Yeah, now that you're on 3 items, you're very close to 800 AP onto that Veigar. Or at least, well, maybe not 700 quite yet. Maybe around, but surely around 500-ish, as we will see the push into the bot lane again. It's very helpful that they have this Baron Cannon now, because now they can actually hit this tower.
Okay, that's 4-4 in towers. This game has definitely swung very close right now. Mistakes by Deep Cross allowing the J-Team members to get back into the game. Driver, after a bad early game, he's managed to really stabilize here and playing for much more of a tanky stat stick Renekton that we do see. Randuin's Omen, of course, building more towards items as well. It's also 3 AD carry items on both sides. Let's take a look at the Veigar. 230 right now is the number we're looking at.
750
Make that 33.
though.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So, yes, it is that 700 target that I actually said. I wasn't sure if he had farmed enough to actually push him over to that point, but with the death cap, of course, giant spike in damage. It's not just the raw AP given by the cap itself, but also just the percent boost, which just amplifies Veigar's damage out the roof.
And you gotta respect the CC chain that can be coming in here. Every time they see Leaky or Hana, they gotta watch for it, and you can't really discount the damage Cascada can put out as well. So J-Team are gonna have to play this oh so carefully. Here goes Kongye. Gets the Spectral Maw off onto Leaky, but it just kind of tickles
Predator. Oh, Enzo's way out of position.
Run as fast as you can. Okay, Enzo, he is going to push back and away. He's all right. There's nothing that Deep Cross can get on the map with his zone control. There is no objectives for the next couple of minutes anyways. So this is all about the fight. Here's Leaky on the flank. Call the Forge God.
Oh, they're
going to land it. Enzo flashes, but Driver wanted to go for the pincer play again. Deep Cross sniffing this one out. They're going to turn for Driver as well. Oh, what a dangerous dance this is, Nightstar.
Yeah, and there's really just nothing to do on the map. That's why we see this ARAM position. And now Nesty coming over on the side, has the flash available, doesn't have Predator though. And he could just get picked off as well as J-Team. They made their way over towards that top half of the map. But okay,
close to getting the baby cage.
We are just fishing for any fight here from both sides.
I love a good ARAM, Nightstar. This is fun League of Legends.
Lil V loses his ultimate. He'll get that back before the next objective. But 1 minute until Baron buff. 100 seconds until that last Hextech Dragon for J-Team. So things starting to pop up. That's why we have these recalls coming in as they try and get as strong as possible. And for the side of DCG, that means getting more stopwatches. We have to account for all the stopwatches coming into this next fight. Is we have 2 on both of the carries from the side of DCG, and for the side of J-Team, there's actually only the one. It's on the Viego. He does have a GA as well, so he's able to buy a lot of time. But Driver going in for this the chains.
Long flank.
Okay.
Oh, he's not in the fight right now. That's going to be Lil V deleted by Nesty. The teleport is too late.
Oh,
they
Driver.
Collapse. The croc might be big, but oh no. I think they're going to be turning him into a pair of boots. Cascada with the kill without the big carry threat of Lil V and the front line of Driver. This will be the Deep Cross Baron turn.
J-Team, I think they just have to give it up and run straight towards that Dragon, but because Dragon isn't up, the desync is going to be massive as DCG will be able to snag themselves this Baron buff, and they should have more than enough time to respond to that Dragon. As you can see here, They even have one recall coming in. That's going to be Nesty on the recall because he has the teleport to get back into the fight. Hex get used by Konge to get out of this situation.
Just says nope.
Yeah,
but he doesn't want any part of that.
They've given up the space around this dragon. This should be a very easy third dragon for DCG. So everything coming down to the next dragon. It does look like J-Team, they are interested in trying to contest, but this goes down way too fast.
A little bit too fast. They can't. Oh, he steals it! No! Konge steals the soul! I don't believe it! Yeah, pop that scream emoji!
Oh my lord, I did not think he would go for the steal, and I mean that's
holy moly.
That's the best case scenario is we get to see the replay. You know that there's a no flash onto Enzo, but they aim for Lil V, and Lil V just doesn't have any resistances to survive the primordial burst coming in from the side of Veigar, and then Driver is just way too late to the party. He shows up, but remember, this is pretty much full tank. Renekton doesn't do anything besides stand there and eventually throw out a stun every couple seconds.
Alright, so DCG are just continuing to scale and become this titanic threat. They have the Baron buff, they're going for the push. But the one thing J-Team have, Nightstar, is that soul that they stole. Can that make the difference? Driver's caught, chunked down by the dark matter of Nesty, and yeah, this is Veigar online.
Yeah, I mean, Nesty, he might just be very, very close to the 1000 AP breakpoint, and it doesn't even matter how much magic resistance you build. After that, you're still going to get one shot because he already has the Void Staff. And now it's just going to come down to how much can J-Team hold on to when it comes to their base before they just have to go for the fight. But we know, like, Driver, he's pretty much paper to this Veigar. Viego, he is paper to this Veigar as well. Everyone is just tissue paper. But Leaky, he's a little bit isolated.
He's cardboard. He's cardboard right now, but he's speedy as well, able to get away. Use the flash, a little bit of an oopsie on positioning, but they can try for the catch. All right.
I don't know if cardboard is best used to describe it.
Okay, well, I'll go particle board. He could have been taken down, but it would have been a little chewy there. All the same, they are going to stun up Hana. I mean, yeah, I don't know my packing materials. I'm a shoutcaster. What do you want from me, Nightstar?
But now DCG, they just walk mid. Guess they don't have the Baron buff.
That's the stun on Woody. Oh, they are going to delete him. Konge, he gets one. I don't know if that's what he wanted to be.
That's not it. That's not it.
Yeah, no. Hostile takeover. Going to get burned. Oh, he's going to have to resurrect now. That is on the Guardian Angel. That was I don't think you want to become Karma.
Yeah. So that was not the ending he really wanted, and yeah, that's one of the cases where stealing a support does not pay off because you just spawned in the middle of DCG as a support, as an enchanter support that's not even like that strong, right? Because
with no
all your
escapes
stats,
either.
Yeah, you have 3 completed items. You don't have a whole lot of stats, but DCG down a soul, but the big objectives, another rotation of these massive objectives here. 2 minutes for Baron, then 2.5 minutes for Elder. If J-Team get the Elder, then they have enough burn damage to actually chew through this Ornn very quickly. So Leaky has to be a little bit more careful for this next fight.
I mean, you can see that's the J-Team plan too, right? I mean, Enzo actually picks up the Chemtech Putrefier to try and get those grievous wounds on. So they are going to try and shred through some of the big tank members of Deep Cross.
Does Leaky have 5k health?
I think he might. All right, well, he's going to catch... Yeah, I mean, he's max level. He's got the Force of Nature now. I mean, that's... Yeah,
this is with hard to kill him. Knight's Vow. Like, Knight's Vow is...
Knight's Vow, Frozen
Not
Heart.
exactly. It's a very supportive-oriented item here. So, it's theoretically not the tankiest, but at this point in the game, you just want to keep your Jinx alive because she is so strong. Again, full build here. And I mean, for the side of J Team, they're actually still missing a couple items, but for DCG, they're essentially at beyond full build because of the Ornn itemization to help them out.
Yep, you can get a little bit more than that as we crest the 40-minute mark. Baron is in 30 seconds, Elder in a minute and change. Deep Cross going to just control these objectives and try to end it on that push, but you don't want a handshake for these objectives. J-Team could still have an in there, and Deep Cross, the longer this game goes, the better it favors them. Cascada, Woody, gotta be careful, don't want to get caught. Kongye going in, handshake, not going to connect.
It's all up to Cascada here. If they find him out, could be the fight.
Okay, doesn't find too much on Cascada. Yeah, definitely keep your eyes on the AD carries. There's a reason we highlighted this matchup at the start of the night. Deep Cross rotate over to Baron. 27 seconds until the Elder spawns. Leaky on the front. They shred this fast. They have a full build Jinx and a Vigar at this point. It would have to be another Miracle Steal from Kongye. Here comes the call of the Forge God. He goes! Can't quite do it this time around, but they do have the hostile takeover. Will it be enough? Driver trying to keep it going, but doesn't quite have the damage. Back up from his team, and it's gonna be Baron and 1 for DCG.
Oh, J-Team just trying to prevent the backs. The recalls are coming through, but remember, there's an Elder Dragon spawn. So
yes, there is.
With these recall, they have to go in, teleport very, very quick. But now they're fully split.
Oh no, Lilvi, he does go forward, looks for Woody and Cascada right now. He does have a lot of damage to the Zap. No, he sticks around.
It's not enough.
Everything's gone wonky here. The rest of the Deep Cross members got baited into moving to the bottom side. Cascada's just going to try to stay alive for a little longer, has the shield on. Here comes Kongye to get the chase down. They will be able to take the Jinx, but at what cost?
The Elder. Oh my god, they get the shutdown, a very, very much needed shutdown for Lil V as he still has an item to complete, but they end up conceding the Elder Dragon. So even though J-Team get probably the most important pick in the game, they get the kill onto Cascada on the Jinx, they can't do anything against it because Nesty, he just kills literally anyone with QR with the Elder Execute.
Yeah, so they get a priority target, but yeah, it cost them so dearly, Nightstar. It was a nice flip to try and like separate the team members of Deep Cross, but they just didn't get the objective off the back of it. So Baron buff on 4, less the Elder Dragon. Deep Cross Gaming are going to be looking for the close. It is a late game and a late game build. And barring a miracle fight, it seems like it's Deep Cross's game to end whenever.
Yeah, now it just comes down to J-Team being able to find these extra angles to get access onto Cascada, because Cascada doesn't have his summoner, so
he doesn't have GA either anymore.
Yeah, might be easier to pick off given that he doesn't have those, but as things stand, we have the double Uber buffs on the side of DCG. Now that Jinx has respawned, we can just go ahead, knock down these towers. But it's not about the tower gold anymore because, again, we're pretty much all full build on most of these champions. It's about finding an angle for a fight.
And there is the call of the Forge God. Gonna get one knock up. Hostile takeover does land. And oh, Woody's out of this one. Lilvi drops the Moonlight Vigil on top of his head. So they have to retreat. All right, I spoke way too soon, Nightstar. J-Team still got the fight.
Renata's actually so good against Elder. They almost executed each other. And with the help of Cascada, I mean, Woody's pretty much paper in that instance, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. I mean, you've got Enchantress supports against full builds on everything. Here comes Kongye for the flank. This is the 5v4. Actually, they don't have Uniboy here. He wants the teleport flank if he can do it, as he's looking for the back. Kongye tries to hold on to them right now. There's nowhere for them to teleport. They're actually going to try and stop. They're going to go for the bank. Here it goes. Oh, Deep Cross, they're getting sandwiched here. The slow move. This is the final fight. This is going to decide the game. Looking for the Ornn. Leaky trying to cut them off. Kongye turned away. There's the shockwave. Nesty's caught. Do they have the damage? Do they have the shutdown? That's huge. No, Cascada. Oh, it's running for the hills. Have they done it, Nightstar? I think J-Team have found a way!
But actually, can they end? Because there's actually no waves in their favor. Yes, they have a mid wave coming in, but they still have to go through 4 towers. So even though it's a 40-second death timer, if they're able to clear the wave, it's still possible for them to hold on to this game.
Oh, DCG, they're going to need Woody and Leaky to pull one hell of a save.
That's the
right
wave
here.
gone.
That's going to be the wave gone. Call the Forge God. They're just going to tank the towers right now. Leaky and Woody just don't do enough damage. That's going to be knocked in here.
Another wave coming in.
25 seconds. They have a wave, Nightstar. They have a wave. J-Team looking for the win. Leaky, Woody caught. That's going to be GG. J-Team against the infinite scaling Vigar against all odds. They take the win to go to match point in this playoff elimination series.
Pyra, unbelievable. J-Team, you can see it in their expressions. They cannot believe the results of this game because that was such a wild ending. That was so well played from J-Team. They find the hostile takeover, and the best way to carry, the best way to find a hyper carry is to just use their hyper carry to kill their own team.